What is paradise? Well, it's a subjective experience. It's also a word that gets horribly overused by travel marketers, which is why I generally don't use this word. Except when I really mean it. Because to me, and for the time that I was there, the Togean Islands in Indonesia truly were paradise. Remote and untouched, and with dense jungles and crystal clear waters, it's a place where time slows down. I'm staying on the island of Kadidiri, which has a grand total of 3 accommodations. With limited internet and away from civilization, it feels like a secret hideout. My bungalow looks out right onto the ocean. The reefs right in front are bursting with corals, so you can go snorkeling anytime you want.
So I'm spending my day just chilling in a hammock, going snorkeling literally meters away from my accommodation, having a nice gin and tonic, watching the sunset, and suddenly it hit me. This is the opposite of torture. This is the good place.
Okay, my sudden realization will make a lot more sense after I tell you about the arduous journey it took to get there. So let me start at the beginning, before showing you why the islands are so amazing. You see, the Togeans take a little dedication to get to. First, you have to travel from Manado to Gorontalo, a journey taking at least 12 hours. Then, you need to take the ferry, which goes only twice a week, and this will take another 12 hours. Many people who travel in Sulawesi hire private drivers, but I decided to take the local bus leaving at 5:30 in the morning. At first, things were looking up. Driving all along the coast, the views were great, and sitting in the back I had the most excellent leg space. But then, to my utter horror, I realized this bus plays the same incessant, high-pitched melody literally every time it uses the brakes. Imagine hearing this all the time for 12 freaking hours. This is the badness. I actually asked the driver if it could be turned off, but I didn't get any response and I'm not really sure if he even can, so I just had to suffer through it. The ferry thankfully proved to be a much more pleasant journey, even though the accommodations were basic.
Alright, everyone's getting ready to board the ferry. It's a bit chaotic because a lot of people from my guest house, from my homestay, bought tickets through the owner of the homestay. So they're all like asking, where's Mimin? Where's Mimin? We need our ticket. So she's kind of going around the different dock areas, handing out tickets to different people. But we're figuring it out. I've got my ticket. I've got my stamp. There you go. And I'm going to find out where my room is.
I say room, but what I really mean is bunk bed, because while some travelers will unofficially rent some of the crew quarters, I'm just going to stay in the shared passenger area.
So we actually have kind of a dorm situation. So everyone's packed together in the same room. It seems really cozy. And there is actually air conditioning in the room, so I think I'll get some decent sleep. Hello! We have a crew member.
Honestly, once people stopped playing music on their phones and all the babies had stopped crying, I actually had some legit amazing sleep here. Pro travel tip, always pack your earplugs.
We are off. It's actually a really nice atmosphere on the boat because everyone's obviously going to the same place, so you get to chat with other people, find out which island they're going to. Yeah, got a wonderful, well, almost a sunset here.
In the early morning we arrive in Wakai, a small village with a little port and a market. With around 1,000 inhabitants, it's the largest settlement in the Togeans, and it acts as the transit hub.
Hello, arrive here, Wakai, okay?
From here you have to get onwards travel to one of a dozen or so isolated spots on the archipelago.
Yeah? Photo?
For the performance.
I'm staying at Kadidiri Paradise. It's a bit of an older resort that's slowly being renovated. It's budget friendly and low-key in all the ways that I like. What's amazing is that you're right in the middle of pure nature, with hidden coves and dive sites right outside the bay. For my first day or two I put the camera down, but eventually it was time to go on a boat tour of the islands. My first stop is this highly unusual lagoon.
This lake is known for its non-stinging jellyfish. It's filled with them apparently. Even though they don't sting, it's still gonna be pretty weird to jump into a lake full of jellyfish.
Yep, it's pretty weird to be surrounded by jellyfish, but it was really great to actually be able to observe them up close.
They're really quite mysterious creatures. Very beautiful. And there's like two different kinds. You have more like white translucent ones and some orange ones that seem to have more body bits to them. It's really amazing.
I should mention that videos I've seen that were taken in previous years show way more jellyfish here. And I later heard the boatsmen may not have actually been allowed to let us in. I still wanted to show it, but do your own research if you want to see the jellyfish, because I felt a bit like maybe I'd invaded a delicate habitat. Time for lunch on a barely inhabited little island, and time for some snorkeling. The underwater world is fantastic here, and while I didn't go scuba diving on this particular trip, the many dive sites are one of the reasons people make it all the way out here. We spent the whole afternoon hopping around different islands and bays. And after a while we ended up at an abandoned resort. It turned out to be a fantastic place for some snorkeling, because around the old footbridge some incredible corals had formed over the years. The sea fans all around the docks were absolutely gorgeous, and these various layers of branching corals felt like some kind of gnarly, stony underwater forest. The final stop on this little island hopping tour took us to another wonderful beach, where we were joined by a curious creature. Oh, hi there. Honestly, for a lot of my time here, I just love doing nothing and reading a book on my porch. But I also wanted to explore some of the hiking trails through the jungle.
I figured I should explore a little bit, and there is a path here into the jungle. It feels very wild, and the jungle feels very much alive. Listen to that.
Now you do have to pay just a little bit of attention here because there are only 1 or 2 signs here and maps don't show all the paths. Along the way I kept bumping into another hotel guest who just seemed utterly lost, but also consistently refused my advice on how to get back, always going right if I said left or vice versa. The dude just kept popping up everywhere like some castaway character. Some say he is still there, still going in circles, forever trying to find the other beach. I have to admit that when I'm in a place like this, it can actually be more difficult to make a video out of it. Because in the end, it's not really about the sightseeing or dramatic discoveries. It's really just about being in a place like this. The closer a place is to paradise, the less there is to say. But I hope I could still convey why I loved spending my time here. The quiet bliss you can experience can be hard to describe, but let me put it this way. It is, in every way, the diametric opposite of being stuck on a bus for 12 hours, listening to the same incessant tune.